Hello, crypto degenerates and patriots alike. I'm Sen B'Hiro, and this is the SENB Daily Brief for Tuesday, November 11th, 2025. Today holds a double meaning. Markets are grinding through holiday mode on the official U.S. Veterans Day calendar, and the crypto herd is trying to remember whether we're trading freedom or fear again. According to the White House proclamation, today we honor the service of our veterans, the men and women who defend our way of life. So, yes, we'll pause for respect, but we'll also check the charts, because you can't pay your coffee tax with good intentions alone. Meanwhile, in crypto land, it's not exactly Moon Town. Bitcoin dipped, altcoins wobble, liquidity's being teased. We'll get into all that. Strap in. First up, what did markets do overnight, and what happens when half the federal government has the day off?
You're listening to the SENB Daily Brief, powered by Whole Shot Coffee.
All right, let's talk about what the markets did while you were grilling brats and posting your dad's service photo on Facebook. According to Barron's, Bitcoin and Ethereum both slipped overnight as traders hit pause for the holiday. Liquidity's thin, volume's down, and the only thing moving fast right now is people trying to find a working bank. Bitcoin's hovering just under 103K, Ethereum around 3,100, and the broader market cap's down about 1.5%. Nothing dramatic. Just a little post-shutdown hangover mixed with holiday lethargy. Market Pulse calls it a risk-off reality check as tech and crypto flows dry up after that mini rally we saw Monday. In other words, everyone's sobered up and remembered interest rates still exist. MarketBeat also pointed out that a handful of crypto-adjacent stocks, miners, exchanges, and one or two blockchain tech plays are catching speculative love again, because apparently nothing says Happy Veterans Day like over-leveraging on Marathon Digital. God bless America. Traditional markets are mixed. Futures flat, oil steady near 64 a barrel, gold just a hair higher on light volume. It's a holiday, folks. Half the analysts are out playing golf, and the other half are pretending to answer emails. So yeah, no fireworks, no panic, just a low-volume Tuesday with patriotic undertones. The real action picks up tomorrow when traders get back to their desks, and remember, they still haven't priced in Thursday's CPI. And that's your quick market pulse. Coming up next, we'll look ahead at the macro calendar and see whether inflation's cooling off or just taking the holiday off.
You're listening to the SENB Daily Brief, powered by Whole Shot Coffee.
Okay, so the holiday's halfway over, the markets are half awake, and the only full-time job left today is pretending to work. Let's talk about the rest of the week, because tomorrow, the training wheels come off. Bloomberg and MarketWatch both point out that the next big catalyst lands Thursday morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern, the October CPI report. Yeah, the one that decides whether we're coasting toward a soft landing or nosediving straight into the Fed spreadsheet. Analysts expect core inflation to tick down slightly thanks to lower energy prices and that slowdown in consumer spending, which, by the way, is economists speak for nobody bought your NFT coffee mug this month. Reuters adds that Fed officials will keep their data-dependent stance and drop a few more monitoring progress toward our target quotes just to remind you they own a thesaurus. So, Thursday's CPI is the main event, but keep an eye on jobless claims Friday and a few Fed speeches sprinkled through the week. Anything that hints at rate cut timing will move risk faster than a caffeine rush. For now, we're in that calm before the data storm, the part where traders either hedge or convince themselves they're zen. All right, that sets the stage for the rest of the week. Coming up next, we'll zoom back into crypto specifically and see how the market's handling the latest risk-off mood and the growing case of altcoin fatigue.
A treasure hunt beneath the data seeds, fortune coded in these blockchain keys.
You're listening to the SENB Daily Brief, powered by Whole Shot Coffee.
All right, let's talk about the funhouse we call crypto. You'd think after the shutdown news, traders would celebrate with green candles and laser eye memes, right? Nope. We're in what Market Pulse calls a risk-off reality check. Altcoin flows have slowed. Big wallets are trimming positions, and that little post-shutdown sugar high is wearing off faster than a Celsius lawsuit. Barron's reports that Bitcoin dominance ticked up again, which usually means one thing. Investors are hiding in the biggest digital bunker they can find. It's the blockchain version of stuffing cash in your mattress, only with more volatility and fewer warranties. Over on CoinDesk, analysts note that DeFi volumes have dipped nearly 12% week over week, partly due to high gas fees, partly due to everyone being broke, and mostly because risk appetite is allergic to macro uncertainty. So yeah, the market's nervous. Altcoins aren't dead, but they're definitely asking asking for a nap. You'll see it in sentiment too. Telegram chats quieter, influencers pretending to meditate, and the meme volume down about 80%. That's the surest sign of a cool-off, when even the trolls go touch grass. Okay, before we get too gloomy, let's pivot to the bright side. Some crypto-linked stocks are still flashing green, which means Wall Street hasn't given up on the dream just yet. Let's talk about that next. Zooming out from the tokens and looking at the ticker tape. Because while crypto's catching its breath, a few of its cousins on Wall Street are still stretching before the next sprint. MarketBeat's latest list of top crypto stocks to watch highlights Marathon Digital, Riot Platforms, and Coinbase Global as the big three riding the shutdown relief rally. All three are up between 2 and 4% in pre-holiday trading. Not fireworks, but at least they remember to show up. Then, there's the blockchain tech ETFs. You know, those magical index funds that promise exposure to the future, but mostly hold chip makers and a dream. They're flat today, proving once again that hope doesn't always outperform the S&P. Barron's adds that investor attention is creeping back toward publicly listed miners, since their margins improve when energy prices cool off. Translation, if oil stays steady near $64 a barrel, miners keep breathing. And you keep getting Twitter threads about hash rate heroics. So yeah, the equities tied to crypto aren't exactly soaring, but they're not panicking either. They're like that one friend at the party who's holding a beer and saying, I'm just vibing. Okay, from miners and markets to something a bit more meaningful. It's Veterans Day, so let's take a minute to recognize the people whose discipline makes all our chaos possible.
You're listening to the SENB Daily Brief, powered by Whole Shot Coffee.
All right, before we keep diving through charts and chaos, it's worth taking a quiet second. Today is Veterans Day in the United States, a day set aside to honor the men and women who served and sacrificed for something bigger than themselves. The White House proclamation this morning reminded us that our veterans embody the spirit of service and the promise of freedom. And yeah, those values sound pretty familiar to anyone who's ever believed in decentralization, freedom of speech, or financial independence. When you think about it, a lot of veterans understand the core of crypto better than most day traders: discipline, risk management, and believing in systems that reward integrity over shortcuts. And some of them are out there now, building Web3 projects, running mining operations, or teaching financial literacy to other vets. So, if you're listening and you've served, seriously, thank you. Your commitment lets the rest of us argue about block sizes and inflation targets in peace. All right, time to refuel and get back to it. This next segment is brought to you by the most patriotic liquid on earth, coffee, specifically Whole Shot Coffee. All right, salute your morning routine because this segment's powered by Whole Shot Coffee. Whether you're a vet, a racer, or just another civilian fighting the Monday through Friday campaign, you deserve caffeine that doesn't surrender. Whole Shot Coffee is roasted for people who run on grit. Bold blends like Roosted and Roasted by Ashley Felick and the dark roasted espresso number 67 named after her race number. It's the only kind of fuel that can survive early track days, late night edits, and now, macroeconomic uncertainty. Whole Shot Coffee. Coffee that fuels champions. Okay, caffeine loaded, brain online, let's crack open the community mailbag and see what kind of patriotic market crypto questions rolled in today. All right, let's hit the community mailbag, where you ask the questions and I pretend to have read the fine print. First up, Anita from Miami writes, markets are quiet for Veterans Day. Does low volume make things safer or more dangerous? Great question. Low volume means fewer buyers and sellers, so prices can move faster on less money. It's like driving an empty freeway, smoother, until someone spins out. So if you're trading today, don't get lulled into thinking quiet means safe. Quiet just means fewer witnesses. Next up, George, no relation to Reuters, from Phoenix asks, do you think Bitcoin's dip today is just holiday noise or something bigger? It's mostly holiday noise, thin liquidity, risk off, people traveling. But the bigger trend is still macro data. Thursday's CPI is the boss fight. If inflation comes in cool, BTC bounces. If it's hot, risk assets get toasted faster than a barista with a broken timer. Maya from Austin says, I heard some veterans are using crypto to fund nonprofits and mental health programs. Is that real? Yeah, actually it is. A few nonprofit projects use crypto donations to avoid fees and reach international donors faster. It's a solid use case that's way cooler than the usual when Lambo stuff. So yeah, crypto isn't just about memes. Sometimes it actually helps people. Luis Online writes, are you ever going to bring Tina Bean on the show? Luis, you just jinxed it. Tina's currently in our HR department rewriting the dress code and accusing me of toxic productivity. But yeah, she's coming soon. Consider this your warning. Hope you like unsolicited life advice. Great questions, everyone, and keep them coming. If you want your question on the air, send it through our proof of thought system using the SENB token. The best takes get featured, and the worst get framed in our office as warnings.
You're listening to the SENB Daily Brief, powered by Whole Shot Coffee.
All right, quick pit stop before the sign-off. Let's talk about the lifeblood of this whole operation, the SENB token. It's more than a ticker. It's your backstage pass to the B'Hiro-verse. Holding SENB lets you submit your proof of thought questions, vote on what stories make the show, and even tip your favorite segments so we can keep the caffeine flowing. Everything's transparent, on-chain, and community-driven, the way crypto media should be. Learn more and jump in at senbhiromedia.com. That's where crypto conversation meets caffeinated chaos. All right, let's land this thing. So here we are, Veterans Day 2025. Markets are quiet, the charts are calm, and somewhere a trader is convincing himself silence means safety. Take a moment today to thank someone who wore the uniform, and maybe thank your broker for not opening new positions while half the market's on vacation. Thursday brings the CPI fireworks, so enjoy the calm, drink the coffee, and brace for the data storm. I'm Sen B'Hiro, and this was the SENB Daily Brief, Veterans Day edition. Stay caffeinated, stay skeptical, and yeah, stay grateful. The SENB Daily Brief is a production of Sen B'Hiro Media in collaboration with Whole Shot Coffee, coffee that fuels champions. Written and hosted by yours truly, Sen B'Hiro. Production, editing, and scheduling handled by Maya Valencia, who somehow keeps me on time, caffeinated, and occasionally polite. Original theme music composed and produced by Paul Hahn, the community legend whose beats hit harder than a Fed rate hike. Research support provided by the SENB community. Proof that sarcasm and spreadsheets can coexist. For more shows, merch, and on-chain chaos, visit senbhiromedia.com. Thanks for tuning in. Stay caffeinated. And remember, if it's not in the brief, it probably wasn't bullish anyway.
Set my wallet free.